Welcome back. You're watching the Power Breakfast Show, and this morning our discussion is on gender-based violence. A report was released about 2 weeks ago that says gender-based violence is on the increase, even in 2015. And to help us understand the statistics and reasons why this could be happening, we have Mr. Oriri Onyango. He's the Director and CEO of National Crime Research Center. A very good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Morning.
Mr. Onyango.
Morning, Mr. Jao.
Just before you go to the National Crime Research Center, maybe you can tell us about yourself. I think you have some history.
I have a little history.
Yeah.
Mr. Jao, my name is Oriri Onyango. I'm the Director of National Crime Research Center for the last 3 years. But before that, I was a State Counsel in the Office of the Attorney General Department of Public Prosecution, where I rose in rank to the position of Deputy Director of Public Prosecution. Of course, I prosecuted quite a number of cases in this country at that time. Then at the age of 55, at that time we were retiring at the age of 55. My time came and I retired to give also a way for young people to come in. So I retired at the age of 55.
Maybe you should tell Kenyans who don't know you, what famous cases have you prosecuted?
I prosecuted quite a number of cases. The one which I can remember very well, the ones which attracted public interest in this country is the case of Honorable Koigi Wamwere in Nakuru. I also prosecuted the case, the 6.4 billion Kenya cocaine haul in Malindi. I prosecuted cases of murder. There were also some murder cases in Nakuru where Captain Belsoy was murdered in Nakuru, and another farmer in Nakuru called Koech in Londiani.
Yeah.
But before that, when I was coming up as a State Counsel, I prosecuted a case in Plainsview here, Nairobi, where a lady by the name Kimeria burned the house of his boyfriend, Mr. Ruhangi. It was assault.
I remember very well.
It is. That was the first. That was the first case I did as a young State Counsel.
Okay.
Yes.
How come you are prosecuting Nakuru, and you are in Nairobi, or used to be based in Nakuru?
I was based in Nakuru, but before that I started working in Nairobi. Then I was transferred to Kakamega, where I worked for 3 years. Then after that, I came to Nakuru, but Nakuru was my longest serving station. I worked for 10 years before I was brought back to Nairobi. And I was forgetting, I also participated as assistant counsel at Parliament to probe the death of the late Dr. Robert Wuko, parliamentary committee. I was the assistant counsel of that committee.
Okay, so, sorry.
It looks like you have very contentious issues. I don't know what you feel about those, because prosecuting during that one party's time was very difficult. What do you feel about that?
It was indeed difficult because the prosecutors were looked at as persecutors. That's how they used to refer to us.
Indeed, I think it was.
It was not.
All right, we have to move on now. We have to move on, gentlemen. And thank you for your brief introduction. And now let's come to the National Crime Research Center. Kindly tell us what that is about.
Yes, thank you. The National Crime Research Center is a state corporation which was established by an act of Parliament, the National Crime Research Act, Cap 62 laws of Kenya. This center was established by Parliament in 1997. At that time, there were many offences in the country, particularly committed by these ragtag organized crimes. We have them in the country, Mungiki, Chikororo, Baghdad Boys, and that. I think Parliament, in its wisdom, thought to bring down or to minimize these kind of crimes, they could come up with a research center to find out the causes of these crimes. And that is what influenced the Parliament to pass that act. And the center was established. The center falls under the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice. As I say, it came in 1997. and took a bit of time before it was operationalized. It was operationalized in 2007. At that time, I was prosecuting, as I've just said, and the Honorable Attorney General at that time, Amos Wako, appointed me to oversee the operationalization of the center. At the same time, I was prosecuting. So within 3 years, it was operationalized, and it became independent from the Office of the Attorney General as a state corporation.
All right.
Yeah.
So you deal with all forms of crime?
We deal with all forms of crime, call it from the smallest to the biggest.
To the biggest. All right, but this morning we want to talk about gender-based violence. And I think the most important thing first is to define gender-based violence, because it's a term that many people sometimes mix up when it comes to describing or defining it.
The gender-based violence has been defined in various terms. But basically, it is that a crime, or call it a crime in the country, where the weaker gender is dominated by the stronger. And in Kenya, mostly, if I talk from the research we conducted, it is a male who dominate the lesser gender, the female. So it's offense against the gender, the gender, both the female and the male, but the female get the brunt more than male.
Of the gender.
What do you mean by dominate? Isn't it is natural? Isn't it natural domination?
No, it's I could say it's a cultural. It's a cultural belief that
some people might say it's in the Bible.
In the Bible does not allow gender
not violence, domination.
Domination, it doesn't. But in cultural belief that male are the bread earner, that the ones who take care of the family. So that one gives them that upper hand on the side of female. So they take advantage of becoming dominant in a family. In the family.
Yet I don't know. When you use the word dominant, what's wrong with being dominant? Dominant because we're dominant. It's natural. I'm not talking about crime. I'm talking about domination. Just like a cockerel will dominate the hen.
It's true. There's nothing wrong with the dominance, but yes, you shouldn't go beyond it and commit offense, crime. Yeah.
Now, many people, when they hear of gender-based violence, they immediately think of rape, right? But in the report that you released, you had some categories, and maybe you can inform our viewers what else is considered gender-based violence.
Yeah, thank you. Generally, when people talk of gender-based violence, what comes to mind is sexual abuse, physical. But from the findings of our report, is that sexual abuse is the dominant, is the most crime committed. But there are some physical violence in the family. In fact, a setup where a wife and a husband can have physical confrontation. We have cases like genital mutilation, which are very common in other societies in the country. And then we also have cases where some other communities still practice those cultural rights, like wife inheritance, which funds HIV/AIDS. So basically, there are quite a number of offenses, or a number of factors which result into gender-based violence, not necessarily rape. Yeah.
But now when you say some cultural things like FGM, it is a crime now. But wife inheritance.
Yes.
Wife inheritance. Is it forceful? Those cultures that practice that phenomenon, a man dies and his wife is threatened by brother or cousin or whatever. Where does violence come in there? How can that be described as violence?
You see, Mr. Njau, the violence comes in when it's forceful. Not all wives would like to be inherited. But if the culture calls upon it, then she has a very, very low bargaining power to refuse. So once he joins that union, she will meet the abuse. This is a brother-in-law or a brother-in-law taking over the wife of his brother. Things like he will want to share the property of his brother with the wife. This brother has left some children behind to be taken care of. So those kind of abuse.
But the brother will take care of the children of his brother.
Not many do it.
Not many do it.
Yeah, they come in to.
They say they will, but they don't act upon it.
Exactly.
All right. And speaking of this societal roles having to play in gender-based violence, how then do you seek to change the mindset? Because there are communities that say, you as a wife, you overstepped your mandate or your boundary, and so you end up being hit. Mm-hmm. How then do you change that mindset and tell people that, listen, that is not right?
I don't know whether it's hate. Maybe some people will think it's not you're disciplining your wife.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Of course, I would have said that disciplining a wife.
Yes.
Although now is not much, because our sisters and they know their rights and they can enforce it. But a long time ago it was a husband could assault the wife in the form of disciplining. But the community which are still practicing these retrogressive active acts can be sensitized by those actors, government and actors in gender-based violence. Here I'm talking about, if it's the government, it should be Ministry of Gender, the ministry which houses gender and culture, and those actors which you call it non-governmental organization which practice gender-based violence. They can sensitize those communities to leave such kind of practices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what about you? Your business is just to collect statistics?
No, our business at the center, yes. We go out of the country. We go outside. Ours is a bit different from what I normally see on public opinion polls. Ours, we sample the counties in the country and go out and collect the data. Then come back and analyze and come up with a report. Like this gender-based violence, we went into 13 counties in the country. Mm-hmm. So you can see it's a representative kind of research.
How accurate is it?
It is.
How do you test the accuracy?
We test the accuracy from the information we got from respondents. It was it was just a random sampling. So if the information you get in Kakamega or Busia is almost repetitive in Kilifi or Mombasa or whatever, so you come to know that there must be some truth in this matter. And apart from that one, we also interview key informants who are dealing with such crime, like in gender-based violence. We did. We interviewed the probation and aftercare, the judiciary, the police, the prison. These are the people who deal with these cases, get reports. Like police take to court, judiciary hear the cases, and so forth.
Okay.
But if the different parts of Kenya have different views about these things. If you, for instance, you want to interview people in Kuria, in Kisii, about FGM, then you will not see any problem with it. Because I've seen people who are professors and 300 people doing FGM to their children.
Exactly.
So if you go to that and then you want to Central Province, the views were very, very different.
Yeah, it's true. But I've just talked about those cases of gender-based violence. They differ from community to community. So if we went to Korea, we'll meet that
Kind of answer.
Yeah,
the responsibility.
exactly.
Yeah.
If we went to let's say in Central Province, the violence there will be different from the one in Korea. The same to Nyanza, but there are some which are common.
Okay.
To all communities.
To all communities.
Yes.
And now in a recent report that you released about 2 weeks ago, you said that gender-based violence towards men is now on the increase.
Yes.
Why is that? Or what is going on?
We did. It came up during the interview of respondents that men are also now being abused by close relatives, and here I mean the couple. The wife can abuse the husband, it came. When we were going out to carry out the research, we didn't concentrate so much on male abuse,
yes.
but it came up.
Yes.
So the causes would be the different cultural beliefs, and the other one would be particularly in Nyeri of our Central Province, of now Nyeri County, is males not taking up responsibility in the family.
Actually, not Nyeri, the entire Central Province.
Yeah.
The male child,
yeah.
the young men there.
The young men
are
I think they're taken up to drinking and leaving their families there to cater for themselves. So I think they have also seen that they're the ones who suffer most. So they come up, although it's not acceptable, and take law in their own hands and mete out some punishment to their husbands. Yeah.
Okay, and it's on the increase.
It is on the increase.
Yes, more men are waking up and
men are being abused. But you'll realize, even in that report, you'll find very few cases of male reporting.
Yes.
Also, male are not reporting. I think it's because of that pride. What will my male friends say about me?
Yes.
If I say that my wife beat me last night.
Yes.
So they just keep quiet with it and suffer silently.
Okay. All right. So there's also this notion that even if I report this matter to the police station, nothing is going to be done. I mean, the follow-up process will take too long. As you do your research, what are some of your recommendations then? Yeah.
Some of the recommendations, perhaps before I come to the recommendations you are seeking, previously the police have not been very keen at getting the reports, particularly from females, because I think that cultural belief, which I said, was also running in them. But later on, the government came up down and said every police station should open a gender-based desk where these cases can be reported, and that one has been going on. So now the police are receive the reports, and if they carry out evidence and find the truth, they take the perpetrator to court. But what is lacking is concrete evidence. The victims have not been sensitized on how to maintain the evidence. As a prosecutor, I will tell you that some of those cases we did, they require a lot of evidence. Like you should not, like if you're a victim of gender-based violence in terms of sexual abuse, you're supposed to keep your clothes unwashed, rush to the nearest police station, get a report and this and that, and they take the swab and carry out the investigation. But those ones were not carried out at that time. But at the moment they do. But still, we need a lot of a lot of, I can say, the concrete way of how to maintain these exhibits. Now, these institutions, in our report we found that it's the police who receive these reports. And the former provincial administration, which now Minister of Interior and Coordination, they are the ones who normally people report to. People rarely report to their parents and even church leaders. They go to the police. So the police are lacking some equipment to carry out investigations on this matter. So we recommend that the governments will come in and give the police, equip the police stations with those equipment for investigation. The prosecution is also lacking because if the police can't come up with sufficient evidence, then the prosecutor will not have anything to go to court with.
Yes.
So it's the two arms of government should work together and have the concrete evidence to prove a case against a perpetrator. But if you don't, this will go scot-free. Some go repeating it.
Yes.
And
But
posting.
isn't it also true that a man, being the breadwinner, beat his wife, and maybe she goes to complain to the police, and the man is arrested and arraigned in court, and the mom says, when he is jailed, chakula nini. So they withdraw, or they don't give evidence. Isn't that common?
It was common, not at the moment. Once the case has gone to court, normally these are felony.
Yes.
Sanjao. Once it is in the court, there's no reconciliation. Reconciliation only happens when they perhaps still at the police station. Yeah. Of course, the victim, if it's a wife, at the time of the offense, she's with rage. She's feeling abused and she's annoyed. And that's what I'm saying. The investigation must go very fast.
Yes.
To have these cases done.
Yes.
Without those withdrawal and whatever. But see, if the police take too long to investigate, then the lady says, now, if I take this person, it's my husband. Or I've also said, the abuse also happens in a family setup. Your husband can sexually abuse you. Yeah. So he says, now, if I take this guy, and we have the children's school and see that this and this. Even if it has gone to court, she must go cold defeat. She may not even come to give evidence.
Yeah.
And the guy is released.
It's released.
Yeah.
Let me ask, do you think tougher penalties also could be a solution to reducing the number of rapes we are seeing when it comes to gender-based violence?
We have realized that Sexual Offences Act gives a very, very, very heavy penalty, 10 years.
But
and even the High Court can even enhance it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it has not brought down the vice, which might require another research to find out why. Yeah. So I think that sensitization is the most important.
Sensitization for you is key.
Yeah.
All right. And in the report, there's also a statement I read that says gender-based violence is set to assume new patterns. Kindly explain to us what exactly that means, because that's a bit scary. When you think about it, gender-based violence is on the increase, and it's set to take a new route, if you can call it.
Yeah. I think that findings came up on the side of male.
Okay.
Male being abused.
Okay.
It was not there before.
Yes.
So
that's one of the
so we say it is taking that dimension, which should be checked very fast. And we are recommending the government to have some centers to monitor on how, as I say, the men are not reporting and they are abused. So governments should put up centers all over the counties to monitor the conduct of men's abuse. So that's where the abuse is going to. Before, it was the female were the ones who were suffering. But now you have seen male are also suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about children?
Children are also abused, boys and girls, and they are silent sufferers unless the parents come in report the matter.
Normally it would be neighbors.
Neighbors, exactly. You leave your child home, even with your house care, your house help. They do that, but rarely do they report. They don't.
Do you see the need then, as these sensitization programs are going on, to also be taken to schools?
The
sensitization programs on gender-based violence.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
It could also be made as a curriculum in schools. Yeah, because you see, sensitizing the adults, I think the young people can get up very fast and grow up knowing that this is a very bad offense or a very bad crime. But the adults, if it is female genital mutilation, you will I think you'll talk. You'll get a lot of time to convince somebody that this is a bad thing. Yeah. So I think apart from sensitizing the police and the rest of the people in the chain of gender-based violence, the government could make it a curriculum in schools. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You said you do research on all crimes.
Yes.
What kind of outfit do you have? How many staff, for instance, expense, budget, for you to do a national survey?
To be honest, of course, see, a center, you don't need so many researchers in the center to carry out this kind of research. At the moment, we have 2 researchers in the center. The capacity is still a bit low because this is the 3rd year since it was became independent. But when we are collecting data outside, we employ graduates as research assistants to collect data for us, and they are paid by the center. They bring the data, and these 2 researchers and can employ 2-3 people to analyze. Yeah.
All right. There's someone here who sent an interesting SMS, and I'd want to hear your thoughts. Roger says, I'm sorry to say this, but the current fight against gender-based violence is a game of women sourcing money from men. At what point then do you know that my case is genuine and it's not me looking for money from an ex-husband, an ex-lover, an ex-boyfriend?
Exactly. It's simple. That's why I said through collection of evidence. Okay. You will know whether the victim is serious or not. You have seen cases of late how they are being handled, but a genuine victim of gender-based violence will not hide. She or him will report the case to the police, and the police will carry out investigations immediately. You don't need to wait until afterwards. And I would say you'll find very few women, if they are victims, that they will go chasing the perpetrator because of money. No, their rights have been abused, and they're beat about it. So when you see a lady going to report a case at the police, says
it is a genuine case.
It's a genuine case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Mr. Riri Onyango, we're coming to the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and just shedding more light on gender-based violence in the country. Hopefully statistics will go down and we'll be more informed.
Yes, we will.
On what is going on.
Yeah, I would have told you a few researches we intend to
yes, please go ahead. Sorry.
To launch. We launched gender-based violence in the country a year ago, followed by this one we did last week.
Yes.
And we are now waiting. We have 3 researches in the pipeline.
Okay.
One is election offences and crime.
Okay.
Very hot research. Another one is human trafficking, which is also almost is now going through the stakeholding enrichment. And we also have kidnapping in Kenya. Cases which are, you see, kidnapping has been very common in our main cities.
Yes.
And the last one is the court judiciary came up with giving sentence to petty offenders. It's called a community service order.
Community service.
Yeah. If you did a petty offense, you can be told to come and sweep If you made an offense here at Royal Media,
Yes.
you are brought here to sweep the whole compound.
Yes.
It has not been doing well. And we have also carried out research on it, and we'll tell the judiciary what is wrong. So we have so many researches which we shall be launching soon.
Which are very interesting.
Very,
We'll
very
hear what
interesting.
your findings
Very,
are.
very
Of course, we'll
interesting.
invite you in studio so that we can analyze them a bit later.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks a lot.
All right, you're watching.